What up, guys? Kevin here with another. I can't believe. I can believe. There's another episode of IGN Sucks. Because why? IGN sucks. They are awful. They are so far past Kotaku and just being disgustingly awful and stinky and smelly. There's spent tampons over there. That's what I see when I see IGN. I just see spent tampons. All right, so IGN sucks. Because why? IGN sucks. Yesterday, we found out certain reviewers, gaming outlets, did not receive a code for Starfield and decided to whine like little bitches on the internet. I didn't get a code. This is why our review's going to be late. And then we found out, like, oh, yeah, you said this about Xbox in the past. And I'm all for criticizing Xbox and still receiving code. I think we're all unanimous, even PlayStation fanboys can agree. When you say dumb shit out of bad faith, yeah, your integrity sucks, and you deserve to not get anything. You deserve to not get anything. And I'm thinking Xbox right now are probably second guessing, like, damn, did we really have to give IGN a code? Did we really have to give IGN a code? Because this woman, Stella, from IGN, had this to say about Starfield. So here's her tweet. I have not played Starfield. Let me repeat that. I have not played Starfield yet. And I am only posting the opinions I've been saying on Podcast Unlocked, that is the Xbox podcast, right? Is she a host on the Xbox podcast? Host of an Xbox podcast, Xbox? This is the game for Xbox. If you're not down with Starfield, you're probably not down with Xbox. Just how it is. And on streams for posterity now, so we can see how I feel after Starfield launches and I get hands-on time in. Nobody cares what you think. Maybe we did once upon a time, but since you posted this, how hard is it to just keep this shit to yourselves? Let me read what she said. Again, she has not played Starfield. I think Starfield looks very okay and is trying to do too many things, so it won't be able to deliver all its promises. The world doesn't look unique. The story seems to be an afterthought to the game, and one thing I love from Bethesda games are the plot lines and hidden lore throughout the world. Again, she hasn't played the game. I don't see a lot of that in Starfield and instead see a lot of other extracurricular activities that seem to distract from the main story. The gunplay looks bland, and I still really dislike the enemy name UI and health bars being right above their heads versus being on top of the screen like in Fallout. This game's not going to have any options for you to do anything with the UI. But again, she hasn't played it yet. I think it'll be a fine game, but I don't think it's going to be mind-blowing. And the players saying, oh, but the modders will save it, make me a bit annoyed. A game should be really solid on its own without the help of modding. Modding is a really fun addition that should elevate the content of a game rather than fix or bring it up to a player expectations. The reason why people keep bringing up mods with Bethesda games is because they are the kings of being able to mod their games. I'm not sure how it works. I'm not a modder. I don't do mods, but there's something with Bethesda games where it just go hand in hand with modding. To the point where they released the Skyrim Special Extreme Extravagant Edition with a bunch of mods from the community. I guess the game is just easy to mod, so people are looking forward to modding Starfield because of how well you can mod their previous games. Again, this person has not played the game, and is just shitting all over it. And she works for IGN. My issue is IGN. Here's a solution, IGN. Pay these people more and tell them you cannot have a social media. You cannot do social media. If you do, it has to be for a different hobby. You cannot talk about video games at all. You cannot talk about video games at all. Just pay them a little more. Just pay them like an extra $5,000 a year just to keep off the internet saying dumb shit like this. Hey, I didn't play the game, but here's where all the problems I have with it. The story. Look, I've been watching trailer after trailer. It's very story focused, I would say, about what's out there. What is out there in the universe? That's the story. Got to find these artifacts. It seems pretty interesting. And I keep hearing, did someone say they went from being like agnostic to atheists? They kept going back and forth. That's the story. You're not going to get it just jumping from planet to planet. You didn't hear anybody talk about that type of experience with No Man's Sky. Seriously. The gunplay. The gunplay has been the gunplay in every Bethesda title, at least Fallout. So I think it looks pretty good. And guess what? We've heard that it's pretty good. Like, just stop yourself. Stop yourself from posting dumb shit. And this is a problem. Like, you know who her boss is? Probably somebody her age or maybe even younger who doesn't give a fuck, who don't care. I remember I was at Target and it was like a young mom and her kid was just like running around, just being obnoxious. And the cashier checked her out, and then as soon as she got to me, it's like kids having kids. And I'm like, yep. That's it at IGN and a lot of these places. Just kids are running the show, and no one reads this. Like, no one at IGN is going to read this and go, yeah, that makes us look really bad. We can't be sharing opinions about games if we haven't played it, to the extent where this comes off like an impressions. Impressions is like, hey, I played the game. I didn't beat it, but here's my impressions. And there's a way to criticize what you see without being so super negative about it to the point where you're showing your bias. This is what she should say. Hey, I'm just not into Bethesda games. I like this about this Bethesda game. I like this about that Bethesda game. I just don't really like what I see with Starfield. Just not for me. And guess what? There's a billion other games you can be passionate about and write a nice blurb. Sea of Stars came out. Maybe you're more into that. Talk about that. But no, it's the flavor of the week. It's the flavor of the month. It's going to be the flavor of the year here with Starfield. And just everybody needs to say something about Starfield. I guess to me an extent, every video feels like it's about Starfield, but this is just what I do. And I get on Twitter and people just can't stop talking about Starfield. It's to the point where IGN is saying dumb shit. Like, even just a few years ago, somebody else at the company would step in like, oh, hey, guys. Unfortunately, one of our coworkers shared an opinion that does not represent IGN. And we were working with her to fix these type of issues from ever happening again. Remember those? Remember those tweets? We don't get those tweets. We don't. Because, again, it's probably kids running the show there. And Xbox should not have don't give IGN any more codes. Just don't. They've been super weird and negative lately. I mean, always. Just stop. And are we going to see the same energy with Spider-Man 2? The fourth Spider-Man in 5 years? Is there any concerns there that we're going to see? Are we going to see any posts like this? No, absolutely not. But that's it. I gotta go. Oh, I did a movie review of Uncharted. check that out. Really enjoy the movie. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Later.